Hi everyone and good morning. Welcome to the San Antonio Zoo. My name is Kara and I am one of the animal care specialists here at the San Antonio Zoo that works with one of our amazing Jaguars. This is Arizona. She is 6 years old and she has just come out to her wonderful exhibit here, kind of looking around seeing what fun enrichment items that we have here, and those enrichment items can vary from these awesome gigantic boomer balls to these three beautiful cardboard boxes. So any of you guys at home that actually have a cat, doesn't matter what size or what species, all cats like boxes nonetheless. Right now she's just kind of hanging out with her boomer ball. But with Jaguars, some cool things that we love about them is that they are actually the largest cat species native to America, which is pretty awesome. And throughout the entire world, they're actually the third largest species, which is really cool. So these particular species of cats are found from southwestern United States all the way down into South America. Yes, as you can see, the boomer ball is actually one of Arizona's favorite enrichment items. That is something that she's going to play with pretty much all day, and as you can see, she carries it around in her mouth everywhere and anywhere that she can pick it up and move it to. Now, yes, they do have a pool. That's what you can see there in the back. Jags love swimming. That's one of their favorite things to do. Part of their territory that you see in their natural habitat, or even in here, is that they like to be in like very wooded, swamp, tropical type areas. So lots of trees where there's lots of water where they can swim at. Or with their trees, they are great climbers. They're very powerful. They're very large, stocky animals that can weigh anywhere between 100 to 210 pounds. Now, female Jags are about slightly smaller than males. So our male Jaguar, who is not out here at the moment, he's inside holding, is a lot bigger than Arizona that you can see here, which is hard to picture when you can't see them next to each other. Which brings me to something that a lot of people ask. We have more than one Jag, but why can't we ever see them together? Now, Jags are actually known as very solitary animals. The only time you see more than one in the wild is if it's breeding season or if it's a mom and her cubs. Other than that, they pretty much like to be by themselves. So kind of like what we're doing right now with social distancing, we're being social distancing just like Jags are social distancing themselves from other Jaguars. So that's something cool that we share in common with Jaguars, which is pretty funny. Now Arizona, as you can see, she's just hanging out. This is what she does pretty much all the day. As a keeper, we like to vary up what we give them. So what you see here, she's not always gonna have, but she might get boxes one day, balls the next, everything. Sometimes we even put scents in there, like lavender, catnip. So any of those, like I mentioned earlier, who have cats, catnip, I'm pretty sure you know what that is. They love stuff like that. Now, with our Jags, we also get a lot of questions of what do we feed them? Jags are carnivores, so they love meat items. So out in the wild, they're gonna eat a wide variety of different types of small prey items. And interestingly enough, that's what we feed here at our zoo. We feed them a wide variety of different types of meats or small prey items. So their diet is very daily, just like how we eat different things on a daily basis, which is pretty awesome. For those of you just joining us, welcome to the San Antonio Zoo. We're just hanging out with Arizona, just one of our beautiful Jaguars here. We do have two at the San Antonio Zoo. Arizona is our female. She is 6 years old. Cool thing though is her birthday is actually this Sunday, and us keepers here are really excited to celebrate her birthday. And even though you guys aren't going to be able to join us, we're still going to have a fun party here. So if you guys want just to send her well wishes. Now, our male Jaguar is actually inside his holding. We do keep our Jaguars separate. They are solitary animals. Now, if you guys have questions as I'm talking, because I love to talk, so I'll just keep talking, please ask those questions and we will answer as many as we can. Arizona right now is playing with one of her EEDs, which is a fun short abbreviation for enrichment device. And it's an environmental enrichment device, so it's things that some might be found in their habitat, but some might also not be found in their natural habitat. So like these boxes, those boomer balls, you're not gonna see them in their natural habitat, but things that we can give them can vary from either 100% edible, like a rack of lamb and stuff like that, all the way to 100% destructible, which are these boxes where they can take it, they can mess it up, tear it into tons of billions of pieces, and we get to clean it up the next day, which is just a fun part of being an animal keeper with any of our species of animals. We love to give them different types of toys to change it up, just like we like to play with different types of things, Xboxes, board games, card games, all that fun stuff. As you can see, the boomer ball is Arizona's absolute favorite. Out of everything that we have given her, that's the one that she will consistently hang out and play with. Now what's cool is that Jaguars are the largest species of cat native to America, which is amazing. This species is found from southwestern United States all the way down into South America. Now in the world, the Jaguars are the third largest species, with second being the tiger and first being the lions, which is amazing. She's dumping all the water out right now. She's like, it's too heavy, I can't pick it up. Yes, she does carry that ball all over through the exhibit in her mouth. Jaguars are very, very strong. They're very stocky animals. They are great climbers, which they are found in those big tropical type forests with big trees, lots of things to climb on. They love water and swimming around in it. I say that and she's like, ooh, the water. Now for those that are just joining on in, welcome to the San Antonio Zoo. My name is Kara. I'm here hanging out with Arizona. She is one of two of our Jaguars that you guys can see here. Now Arizona is hanging out in her habitat at the moment with a nice wide variety of different enrichment items, whether it be from the boomer ball, the boxes, or we do have a half-gallon tub hanging from their exhibit. Yes, sometimes they do swing from it. It just varies depending on them. Now, we do have a male and female here at the San Antonio Zoo. They do look different, and what I mean by that is size. Males are bigger than females. Females are generally going to be about 10 to 20% smaller than males. They can weigh anywhere between 100 to 200 pounds. Now, the reason they are separated is because Jags are solitary animals. They generally like to hang out by themselves all the time. It's very rare that you're gonna see them together, and the few times that you do, it's either breeding season or it's a mom and her cubs. What's really cool is that with our Jaguars, they are a male and female, like I mentioned. They have already bred, and they successfully gave us two adorable cubs, a male and a female. Now the cubs are no longer with us. They have grown up and moved on to create new families of their own. The reason for that is cubs, the little babies, generally stay with mom for up to 2 years is generally the max. So usually after that is when we start finding a new home and a new place for them so they can start their own family. Females will generally have anywhere between 2 up to 4 cubs, but 2 cubs is common. They'll stay with mom, like I mentioned, up to 2 years, and then they'll move on out in the wild and create their own territory, which is pretty awesome. Arizona is very much loving this box that is full of hay. What's really cool is, like, sometimes we'll just give them new hay, but even then we have a lot of different species of animals that we work with, whether it be armadillos or different types of primates like gibbons or bears, and we'll give those animals hay. And as an enrichment, what a lot of people think about is that that hay that came from another species of animal can be a great enrichment item, like it's proving at this moment with Arizona. She's really enjoying that box. So for those of you who have cats at home, it doesn't matter what species of cats that you're looking at, they love boxes. And she loves that box a lot. If you guys have any questions, please ask them. We love questions here. If not, no worries. Like I said, I can keep talking. I can talk about them all day, every day. A cool thing that I always like to point out with Jaguars is a lot of people, when they see them, they confuse them with leopards, which I totally get. I understand that. I confused them too before I started working with Jags and really started learning about them. The difference is, one, Jaguars are bigger. They're a lot stockier, they're a lot bulkier, they got more muscle, and that's because they're big climbers and great swimmers. Leopards are a little bit smaller. And another thing that you can actually look is all the pretty rosettes, which are all those pretty spots and like circular spots all over the Jaguars. The difference between that is that within their rosettes that kind of cluster together, there's actually one more rosette or dot that can be in the center, so it looks like an eye. Leopards don't have that, so that's another cool thing that you can physically look at if you can't see them right next to each other to tell if it's a leopard or a Jaguar. She's having so much fun with that hay. Not sure where that hay came from, but she's loving every second of it.
Ryland would like to know if Jaguars like to eat ice like his pet dogs.
Ooh, that is a great question. You know what? We make them different types of ice molds. We give them fish sometimes. It's not always a part of their main diet, but we can add fish. But we can either make fish popsicles or meat popsicles or even bloodsickles, which is really fun. So yeah, they will play with those large ice cubes that we give them. So you just have to think of the ice cubes we give these guys are a lot bigger. Almost the size of their head when you think about it.
Do you guys do any training with the Jaguars?
We do tons of training. The first training I always like to talk about is husbandry. Now, husbandry training are things that help us better take care of them. So like daily things that we work on is going to be shifting. Now, even though these animals are amazing and they've grown up and been around people and in zoological settings, we don't go in with them. That's a safety thing for them as well as with us. So by shifting them inside, we can come out and clean their exhibit, add some fun perching, create more grass. Yes, we grow grass at the San Antonio Zoo. It's a lot of fun. So husbandry is just an awesome part. And with that, you can extend into, you guys go to the doctors. And I know a lot of people out there, just like me, we don't like needles. They're scary, they're big, they're terrifying. And with animals, they can be the same thing. It's something new in their environment that they don't understand what it is. So we can work with them and we can desensitize them. So getting them comfortable with that new sound, that new objects that they're, so that hopefully down the road, after we've taken all those fun little baby steps, we can get voluntary blood draws, or we can do voluntary injections, which is awesome because that creates less stress on them as well as less stress on the keepers that work with them. And then everything that you see our animals do, we call it a behavior, not a trick. There's a very big difference between it. A trick is something you actually have to teach an animal that they don't know how to do. Whereas a behavior is something they already know and it's a part of their repertoire. We as keepers have just now paired it with an SD. So that SD can either be a hand signal, like me waving or pointing a finger in some direction, or it could be a verbal command, like up or down or sit, kind of like that. So everything that you see whenever you guys come to the zoo or you see on these awesome videos here, those are behaviors that we have paired with those hand signals or verbals to get them, whether it to be exercise or playtime. Animals, just like people, they can be lazy. You know, we just get comfortable and we just want to sit around, especially in this wonderful weather, and watch movies. But sometimes we got to get up and got to move around and work out, and whether it be through training or these enrichment items like Arizona's playing with, it's a good way for her to get moving and exercising, blood flowing, her staying nice in shape.
Jason and Jude would like to know if Jaguars are endangered.
They are not endangered, but they are listed as near threatened. Now, even though jaguars out in the wild are the top of their food chain, I mean, look at her. She's massive and gorgeous, and they have all that muscle. Yes, that's all muscle, guys. There's no fat on a jag. It's all muscle. There's still things that can face plummeting their numbers in the wild. That could either be deforestation or even people encroaching on their territory. And unfortunately, sometimes they're gorgeous, they're beautiful animals, and their coats become really wanted out in the world. So poaching and things like that could be a detrimental loss towards jaguars. However, that being said, there are people that are out there that are helping jaguars, including the San Antonio Zoo. All zoos, including ours, find any way possible to kind of go out and help animals out in the wild. And the first step that we can do is by teaching you guys about the animals that we have here. It's just a great door into then going on our website, like sanantoniozoo.org, and looking up funds or organizations that are out there helping different species all over the world. She's really wanting that ball without getting in the water. So right now, she's being a little lazy because jags are great swimmers. That's why there is this big, beautiful pool in there. She just doesn't want to get wet at the moment.
So Phyllis would like to know if they love the hot temperatures of Texas.
Well, jaguars can be found in the southwestern parts of the United States. So that means Texas is part of it. So this hot, heat, even though they are covered in all that gorgeous fur, they're very much used to it. That being said, with everything that we provide for our animals, we do make sure that we are always checking the temperature, whether it be outside as well as inside their holdings, so we can provide the best care for them. So if it's like a really, really cold day, which is very random, but it does sometimes happen here in Texas, they actually will have heaters inside their holdings and we'll give them access. If it's really bad, like rain and torrential downpour, we'll also give them access. And even if it's really, really hot outside on those, we all know Texas can be like over 100 degrees sometimes, they'll get access. So that's just a part of our job as a keeper, is just keeping in check with the temperatures for all of our species that are here at the zoo.
Do they groom themselves like house cats?
They do. So Jaguars and house cats are very similar. Whether you're looking at Jags, fishing cats, caracals, house cats, they're gonna groom themselves. Obviously right now that's just not what she chooses to do. She's more investigating and enjoying her environment at the moment and the toys that we had given out to her. So that's just not something that she wants to do at the moment.
A few people are asking, what is Arizona's favorite toy and favorite food item?
Her favorite toy, she's actually not playing with at the moment, but when she first came out, if you watched at the beginning of the video, she was all over it. It's a big boomer ball, just a big hard plastic ball. So with toys that we give our animals, we have to make sure of two things. It either needs to be 100% edible or 100% indestructible. So Jags, they're very strong animals. They have a very strong bite pressure. So anything that we give them to play with, we need to make sure that no matter how they bang it against, carry it around, or do anything with it, it's not going to crumble to pieces unless it is a cardboard box with hay or food that we put in it. And then her favorite food item, that's a little hard. I mean, she loves meat, and if I had to pick one or the other, I'd say a small prey item, and that can vary with different types of things that we're going to feed them. Like I mentioned a little bit earlier in the video, we like to give a varied diet. Even though they are strictly like carnivores and stuff like that, we like to make sure to give them a variety of different types of meat and small prey items. Just kind of like how we don't eat the same things every day, we don't expect our animals to either.
Samantha would like to know if Arizona has ever had any babies.
She actually has. We do have a male Jaguar. He's actually inside at the moment. They had their first two cubs a little over 3 years ago. They are no longer here with us because Jaguars are solitary animals, so they tend to like to be by themselves, kind of like us. We're doing the solitary Jaguar thing, or social distancing, which is a really cool common thing we have with Jaguars at the moment. So when Jaguars out in the wild, when they are mating and stuff like that, those are the few times you're gonna see them with another Jaguar. It's either gonna be, like I said, with a male Jaguar, or you're gonna see a mom and her cubs. So when Arizona had her cubs, they had two. They had a male and a female, super adorable. They stayed with mom. So females are gonna be the main ones that are gonna be taking care of the babies and doing all the parenting stuff that you can think of. And then they'll stay with mom for up to 2 years. So the cubs now are over 3 years old, and they've already moved on to other zoos to create new big families for them. And with that, like I said, our male is inside, so he's hanging out indoors, but we do shift and give them time outside and vice versa inside holding. Well, if you guys have any other questions, we would love to hear any more. Please fill them out and we will answer them. And I hope you guys had a great time here with me, as well as with Arizona. She's off on the other side of the exhibit right now. She's got to investigate. And we hope to see you guys real soon.